guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Latrell. I go by iloveyoutrell, and here on my channel we love to talk about makeup, beauty, fashion, lifestyle, and a few vlogs in between. But today we're going to get into this very beautiful festive Valentine's Day look, and since it is a Black History Month, we will be using all Black owned brands for this makeup look. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be getting into a very fun, very cute Valentine's Day look. So my older sister sent me these really cute jewels, these very cute rhinestones to put on a makeup look. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to try this out today. You guys, I've never actually used jewels, so we're going to see how this turns out, where this look goes. And it's also Black History Month, so happy Black History Month to all of my fellow African Americans out there. And today, in honor of Black History Month, we're going to go ahead and we're going to be using all Black owned brands for this makeup look. Alright guys, so I did go ahead and wash my face, but I have not yet added in any skincare or moisturizer. So in honor of today's video, I'm going to be using Keys Let Me Glow Illuminating Serum. This is by Miss Alicia Keys herself. It has a very nice shimmer to it. You probably can't see it right now, but it is very illuminating to the skin, so I like to apply this first because I actually use this regularly as a serum, and then I'm going to go ahead and add my moisturizer on top. So for today's look, since we are obviously keeping up with the Black owned theme, we're going to be using some Fenty Beauty. So today we're going to be using the Fenty Beauty Eavesdrop Lit All Over, and I am in the shade number 3. So I do have a video where I did review this product. I'm going to make sure it is linked down below for you guys if you guys want to check it out. But I had to go back and try another color because the original one that I got was too light, but I really like the product. I actually recommended it to my mom. I recommended it to other people in my family because not everybody wears makeup, and I feel like this gives you a nice healthy glow without feeling like you have on makeup. If you've been on my channel before, you know that I'm a fairly natural makeup kind of gal. I don't really like super full coverage. I'm more medium to sheer, if anything. But my trusted, tried and true that never lets me down and is also pretty natural is the Pat McGrath Sublime Skin Finish. And I am in the shade Medium Deep 22. I'm going to use this foundation today because, like I said, I want to go for something more natural. If it's Valentine's Day, I feel like you're going to have a lot of, like, you know, close contact with other people, so you don't want to be getting, you know, too much cakey makeup all over people, and it just blends very easy and effortlessly with all the other products. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this fluffy flat brush here. This one is by Alamar, and it is the bronzer brush. Now I always say you can use brushes for whatever you need to use brushes for, sis. Like, it might say, you know, bronzer, but I would never use a brush for bronzer that's this big on myself. Now, some people obviously will use this for bronzer, but personally, I do feel like something a little more like tapered and smaller so that it doesn't blow out our like bronzer too much would be ideal. So I like to use this for foundation because I'm clearly trying to cover this entire canvas. A very light to the sense that I can actually still see freckles on my skin as I apply this foundation. Now granted, I'm gonna put concealers and other powders and they will kind of, you know, cover them up, but if just off the rip I wanted something that was gonna be more natural or very light wearing, I would definitely say this is that foundation. It is a little bit more pricier than most. I do think that the product actually lasts a very long time. It has a very beautiful formula. It wears very well. I also have a video comparing this to some other naturally radiant foundations and skin light comparisons. So if you guys want to check that out, that will be linked down below as well. One of the things that I want to do today is actually not underpaint, but I want to do my contour before I do my concealer. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my Fenty Beauty Matchstick in the shade Truffle, and I am going to go ahead and contour my face before I do my concealer. And you might be wondering, why would you do this? This gave me a really nice like outline for how much concealer I needed and where exactly to place it, because it gave my face that structure right off the top, so that way I didn't need to use too much product. So as I was saying, for bronzer, I would never really use a brush that's this fluffy and this big because I don't really want it to blow it out everywhere. But I will use something like this that is a little bit more tapered and shaped, as you guys can see, to go ahead and blend upwards and outwards. Now, I'm not gonna front like Fenty Beauty's matchsticks aren't a little bit more on the drier side, but I did just wash this brush, so it kind of has a little bit of dampness to it, so it is blending it out very nicely. But another trick that you can do is just spray your face with like your setting spray before you even start blending out. And just make sure you dampen your brush, beauty blender, or whatever tool you decide to use. So that way you don't have like a big mess and it's not like you're like fighting with your contour to blend it out. I'm just really stamping this on and just moving backwards, kind of brushing it off, but then at the same time like stippling it in place. I don't have any clean or new beauty blenders, so unfortunately I will not be using a beauty blender today, which is like it's kind of nerve-wracking because I always use beauty blenders. I love beauty blenders as far as like the after blending process and setting process, so we're gonna see how this goes. But I am gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use my Fenty Beauty concealers. Of course, Fenty Beauty has you covered. If you need like a black-owned brand that's like, you know, very much across the board, or at least something that has a skin tone for everybody, no matter your undertone, like I feel like Fenty Beauty kind of hits that on the mark. I can say I am also biased, but from what I do know, Fenty Beauty is the girl. So I'm gonna be using the shade 385 and 350. 350 is a little bit brighter and 385 is a little bit more flesh tone. So I'm gonna go ahead and put 385 here on the outer corner and then 350 on the inner. And this is the Pro Filter concealer. There is another one now, and I believe it's supposed to be a little bit more hydrating because this can get dry as well. Fenty started out making the girls matte, and then as time and makeup evolved, they started doing a little bit more of hydrating type of products. So you can get both. Right now I just have, you know, the OGs, so they're a little bit more on the matte side. Again, you can always use some of your setting spray to make it more moist, as well as ensuring that you are properly hydrated. I'm really mad that I don't have a beauty blender. I really feel like this is about to turn into like a hot mess because I don't have a beauty blender. So blend this out. I'm gonna use this small Lancome foundation brush because I feel like it helps keep the product placement very precise. As you guys see, I'm cleaning up underneath that contour, and I'm really just like pushing in and like softly flicking out the edges so that way it doesn't look too harsh. And then where the actual contour and that concealer is meeting, I am just tapping on top so that way the product doesn't have like that super line of demarcation, but you can still tell like this contour is snatched this. I'm blending out all the areas with 385 so that way I don't get any 350 in there and it doesn't like brighten everything up, because I personally want to make it like more natural looking, especially because we're going to do some like nice simple jewels on the eye. I don't really want it to be too crazy. Again, this is a Valentine's Day look. You're probably going to get close to your bae and you don't want them to have like, you know, a ton of makeup on their face. I mean, you might not care, but I personally try not to like turn my boyfriend into a makeup wipe. I'm working my way into 385 so that way it's a nice seamless blend. You can't tell too much that I did do two different colors because it's flowing gradually into one another. And as I get to the end part here, like I said, we're just gonna go ahead and we're going to just tap over the line so that way we keep that nice preciseness, but it's not like a crazy harsh line of concealer right there. The Danessa Myricks Dewy Cheek and Lip Palette. So I really like this palette. I got this at Sephora. It was one of those things that they did not sell in store. You had to order it offline. When I say this has one of the best formulas I've ever tried for a cream product, like there was a point in time where I did not like cream products at all because I just felt like it more so picked up and removed product that was previously placed versus just seamlessly like blending in with it. But when I say this Danessa Myricks palette has like really changed my mind about cream products altogether, like I can't get away from this palette. This palette is one that I take with me when I do anybody's makeup because it works for all skin types, but it's also very, very natural once it blends in with the skin. And I'm gonna just go over my nose with whatever is left on the brush, just nice and subtle, okay? We don't wanna look too crazy. We don't look like we got punched in the nose, okay? So for our powders, of course, we're gonna go into our Fenty Beauty powder, banana and the Fenty Beauty powder, as well as honey. And we're gonna use a combination of both. Like I said, we're gonna start off more neutral, more, you know, flesh tone, and then we'll brighten up any areas that we need to. I'm gonna go ahead and use my triangular powder puff. I got this off of Amazon. Y'all, when people tell y'all they get these things off of Amazon, listen to them, because brands will charge you a ton of money for something so simple, and Amazon will have like 30 for $5. So go ahead, get this off of Amazon. I'm gonna go ahead and press into my powder first. but this is Fenty Beauty powder. So she is a very, very pigmented and a very, very fine. So I'm gonna tap some off on the back of my hand. Look how much comes off on my hand. That's a lot. And there's still a lot of product left on the sponge. I am going to press and just keep pressing that product in. I don't want to bake right now. I don't want any product to cake up underneath the eye. So I'm really pressing it in. Gently, but press it in. Chin, my forehead, around my nose. I'm gonna go ahead and I am going to do a nice clean swipe underneath where I put the contour. So first I'm gonna point it upwards and we're gonna go ahead and just swipe it, just like that. And lightly go in and go all the way back to my ear. And just brush that in, but also swiping it downwards. And connect this to my lower chin. And the reason I'm also doing this is because I actually do not have a black owned setting powder for my entire face. So we're just gonna go ahead and keep at it with the Fenty. And we're gonna take Banana, again, taking the tip, tapping it off, get that excess off of there. And then we're going to press. This one, we're going to keep there for just a second so it can give us that nice highlighted and bright under eye. Just a second, y'all. Like, don't get crazy. Do not get crazy. But if you do want to get a little crazy, go ahead and take what's left on the back of your hand. Again, slice that, make it clean. That was not clean, but you know. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take a nice fluffy brush. This is a Morphe brush. I have no idea what brush number this is. Honestly, y'all, I never say brush numbers because it doesn't matter. Use it for whatever you want to use it for. But I'm gonna use this to brush that powder off from underneath my eyes and just blend that away. And when you swipe the powders away, don't be going like back and forth because this is not an eraser, okay? This is not a pencil and a paper. This is your foundation. You will disturb the product underneath. So just a brush, literally one direction, pick it up and start over. Don't eraser it, girl. And I feel like it looks very good, very even. Our skin tone is giving a very nice natural look. It's not too cakey anywhere. We are gonna be setting with a setting spray afterwards, which will kind of blend and merge all these products together. So I have the Juvia's Place Contour Palette in dark, and that is this one here. Or I do like to use a brush that is a little bit more kind of like the one that we use to blend out our cream contour, which is like a little bit dense. It's a very nice like straight line kind of shape, so that way it's very precise. It doesn't have a lot of like blowout. Again, this is claimed to be a bronzer brush. I would never. If you like it, then I love it. But I would prefer to use a brush like this, and this is the MAC 125 brush. This is special edition because it was a part of the Vibe Tribe collection. So it is a dual fiber brush, meaning that it does have a really dense side on this side for cream or liquid products, and then this side here is very good for powders. So I just kind of go in and I just like, you know, just stamp it on both sides, tap the excess off, and then I'm gonna go ahead and just stamp this on, moving backwards to the hairline. It's just giving a nice depth to that Danessa Myricks color, because you can still see that very much so on my skin right now. And then I like to go across the face and just kind of go into my like forehead contour. This contour can stop or start wherever you need it to, depending on the size of your head. And my head is kind of big. I just connect everything. I connect it all. And now we're gonna go underneath our chin. And I like to, where my ear is, I'm going to like stamp the product here. So I definitely brush down. Typically, like I said, I'm still going to pick up and start again like this. And then you can come up the face if you need to. Now, if your powder underneath your contour is a little bit too bright or you feel like it's not blended out enough, just go over with your contour so that way it just gives a nice blend to the skin and doesn't look like super harsh going down. Because one of the things that you will notice is that if you're taking pictures, if your foundation is not exactly the same shade as your neck, you definitely want to go down and to bring that color into the neck so that way there's not like a very harsh line showing that your foundation is not the right color, because it's not about the foundation. Your foundation could be too dark or too light. You can always make it work as long as you know how to properly contour contour and highlight. So that's why you would definitely want to go down the neck and just kind of let that shade just end more so in this like shade area here. Because you can't tell, like, unless you're over there doing all of this, girl, you ain't gonna be able to tell that it doesn't, like, you know, actually work. So I feel like this contour is not as like soft and seamless as this one here. Like, can y'all tell? Yeah, I'm sure you can. Why wouldn't you? It's kind of crazy. I need to blend that out a little bit more. But then I'm gonna take an angled brush, and this one is by Luxie. This is the 207 medium angled shading brush. I got these from BoxyCharm, so I don't know how much these cost. I don't buy brushes. I've never bought brushes. I'm gonna have to now because I don't have BoxyCharm. But I'm gonna take this brush. It's a pretty good brush. I'm gonna start from underneath the brow bone here, and then I'm gonna go inwards, and I'm gonna just go down the side of my nose. If you have a bridge, then obviously you would follow the bridge. I don't really have a bridge, so that's what I'm creating here. It's just that structure or that bridge point, or the illusion, I guess you would say. So that way it looks like I have one, but I really don't. And that's okay too, because I'm still cute. And then I like to come to the tip of the nose. Now again, I don't have a bridge, so the tip of my nose is kind of wherever I create it. But at the flat part of your nose, this part down here, is where I like to go ahead and just kind of cut the tip, if you will. So because I haven't done my brows yet, it doesn't really matter how far in this powder starts or goes, because once you use your concealer and clean up your brows, it's gonna kind of take it away anyway. And we also still need to get into the actual makeup look. So since I wanted to blend this out, I am just going back in with that brush that I used to lay down the Danessic Myrix color, but I'm not putting anything else on here. However, something might be depositing, so I'm gonna go ahead and just do this to the other side, because whatever you do to one, you need to do to the other so that we look even. All right, and because we don't have an actual face powder, but we did set a lot of Fenty powders and a lot of contours and all that good stuff around, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna just take a regular fluffy brush, and we're just gonna blend everything together. Because like I said, we had the powder that we used from Fenty Beauty, the loose powder, then we had the actual powder that we set underneath our eyes. We went ahead and put some on top of our concealer all over the rest of the face, and then we put that contour, so we want to just blend everything together. Okay, so I'm going to take my Fenty Beauty concealer and I'm going to go ahead and prime my eyelids. That way we can get ready to start our eye look before we actually even get started. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. I'm gonna wait. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use this flat fluffy brush to blend out that concealer. Just try to blend it out as much as you can, just packing the product on. Again, don't be erasing it, girl. Makeup can be fixed, but you're not erasing anything. So you wanna go ahead and you want to just tap and just very lightly tap those edges and blend those out. Again, that's why I'm using a fluffier brush, because there's so many bristles that are gonna slowly blend out that outer line instead of having me, you know, having to rub it on out. So make sure you are just packing it on lightly. Before we get any further, did you like this video? Are you liking this video? I think you're liking it. I think if you're this far in the video, you need to just go ahead and give it a thumbs up because it's free. And you need to subscribe if you're not. Like, if you are coming here and watching videos by me and you are not subscribed, my heart really hurts, because what's the problem? You seem to like me. We seem to have a connection, but you have not subscribed. Again, it's free, it doesn't cost you anything, and it actually helps me out a lot so I can continue to give you guys this amazing content. So just go ahead and subscribe right now. Before we move on, I'll give you 5 seconds. Okay, and I know some of y'all are still very hard-headed. So as mentioned, we're using Black-owned brands for today's Valentine's Day makeup look. So I'm gonna be using 2 palettes. This actually is a blush palette because we need to put some blush on, but they're both by Ace Beauty and Ace, or maybe it's Ace Beauty because there's a little apostrophe above the E. But I'm gonna call it Ace Beauty because I've been calling it Ace Beauty. I have some previous videos that I've done regarding Ace Beauty, and I've been calling it Ace Beauty. So we're gonna call it that, but if I'm wrong, I apologize. And I'm gonna be using both of these that I got from BoxyCharm back in the day. One for our blush that we're gonna go ahead and apply in just a moment, and one for our actual eyeshadow look. And this is the Ace Beauty Blush in Paradise blush palette. The 2 of these, I really love this combination. So I just go over one, over the other, and then I'm gonna just tap, tap, tap. You see how my eyes are creasing right now? There's like that separation that's happening. You're gonna go back in with that brush that you used to blend it out and just tap that out, because we do not want to start a process where there is caking up or separation, because once you add that powder, it's not gonna be easy to blend out. So let's just make sure our canvas is ready. I'm gonna be using this Scarlet Dusk palette by Ace Beauty. And the reason I chose this is because it's very Valentine's Day oriented. It has all these very cute, nice pops of color, but specifically this pink moon here is what I am going for. I do have a video that I'll link down below that will show you what brushes you should be using for certain parts of the makeup process and what, you know, is just like up to personal preference, because I honestly feel like you can use it for whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start off with using this fluffy brush, and I'm gonna take the color Sunset Rose. Tap off that excess, and I'm going to start just adding this into my crease. Now, we are gonna be using some jewels, as I mentioned, so I'm trying to figure out like where exactly the jewels are gonna go and how I'm gonna do this, because I've actually never added like rhinestones and stuff like that to a makeup look before, so I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm excited. I'm just blending this in, just going back and forth. Build it up first by tapping it in there, and then you're going to blend it out. Very lightly though. Again, you never wanna use a hand where you're like just kind of penciling it, girl. That's why a fluffy brush like this is just so key, because it is already like fanning out and not directly depositing such a harsh amount of product to the point where you don't really have to do much of this, but that is the motion that you're doing for the eyes specifically. I'm gonna take Pink Moon, and I am about to go in on the lid with this, you guys. This pink is so pretty. I'm just gonna take it up to the crease to meet that Sunset Rose color. But don't worry that there's gonna be a line. There will be a line, and we're gonna go ahead and blend that out after we just build and pack this color on. We're not swiping, we're not, you know, back and forthing it. We're just literally packing it on so we can build it up so it can give us this nice, vibrant pink color. I have a lot of lid space to work with, so if you don't have a lot of space, you know, tweak it to what your eyes are like. Like, I don't know what your eyes look like right now, sis, but if they don't look like mine and they're not, you know, with all this excess eyelid space, go ahead and do what is best for your eyes, and know your face and know what is going to be best for you. We're on YouTube, so you can go ahead and search some up. But I do have a video on how to place your eyeshadow and just like the basics. Again, all of these videos will be linked down below, because I have an entire series of Back to the Beauty Basics where I show you guys how to do your eyeshadow, how to pick your brushes, and then all the different parts of the eyes, because you need to know where you're working to know how to work. So definitely would say to check that out. But you guys see how we have this really nice like pigment of color here. We're gonna go back into our first brush that we used for Sunset Rose, and we're going to go ahead and we're gonna take Sunset Rose and we're going to blend where the end of Pink Moon starts. Don't be afraid of the color, you guys. As long as you know how to blend, you can use colors. Colors are so pretty when you know how to do it. And again, the only thing you need to know how to do is blend. Camera actually died, so I decided to go ahead and just really map out where I was going with this look. So this is the eye that we're going to be recreating. Now I'm gonna go back and remember we said we were gonna use crimson. I'm gonna take this on a small shading brush, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to just put this in the outer crease. Right where the pink and the lighter orange are meeting, I'm just going to tap crimson in there and just blend it out, so that way it gives us just a little bit more depth. And you can see how it just kind of added just another level of orange right before we go into that lighter colors. And then I'm gonna go back in with that flat brush with Pink Moon on it, and I'm just going to just bring a little bit more of that vibrancy back into the eyeshadow. So don't be alarmed when people tell you to blend. Blending is necessary, and the thing that you should never be afraid of is that the color is going to wash away, because it is a powder and it's just naturally going to wither away the more that you blend it out. So let's just touch it back up. Okay, so I did go ahead and do my brows, as you guys can see. So I did kind of cut down where that eyeshadow was kind of blended out. Now I'm going to take my eyelash glue, and I'm just using Duo, and I am going to go underneath my brow, kind of starting out where my pupil is and going all the way to the end. So this is going to be how we're going to stick the jewels to this makeup look. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually wipe off the tip of that before I place it back into my glue, so that way it does not turn it orange. But we're gonna go ahead and we're going to place these same jewels that we did on this side. We're going to recreate that on this side. It does look a little bit different than this side, but I think that's okay. I think they look okay. They look okay. So I did do the inner corner after I did my eyeliner, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that next. Just one more dab right here in the middle of the eye. Okay, so I popped the inner jewel on the inner eye, and then we're gonna go ahead and just finish up the bottom half of our lashes. After I tight line my bottom lash line, I'm gonna take my color switch by Sephora, and I'm going to clear off the crimson that we added to this, although we're gonna go back into crimson. First, I'm gonna go to Pink Moon, and I am going to stamp this color all on my lower lash line. And using my color switch, I'm gonna take off all of that pigment, and I'm gonna go into crimson. And same thing, I'm going to stamp, but I'm going to go on top of where I put Pink Moon. Okay, so I have a highlighter here by Fenty Beauty that I'm gonna use today. So this is the Mean Money and Hustler Baby highlighter. So I'm gonna go ahead and add some of Hustler Baby to the top of my cheeks. This is so pretty. This is definitely one of my favorites when I'm getting a nice full kind of glam going on. And I feel like with this look, since we have the rhinestones, it kind of just complements it. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a little to my chin, a little bit right here in the middle of my forehead. And then with my pinky, I'm gonna take a little bit here and I'm gonna just hit the tip of my nose and the between my eyes part. Because again, remember we're like creating the illusion of a bridge of a nose. So this is where the light would hit if I had naturally had one. And then I'm gonna take just a little bit and hit my Cupid's bow right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna set my face. I only have Fix Plus, which is like my go-to anyway. So I'm gonna use this. Woo! And then I'm gonna go ahead and use my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. And these aren't black owned, but these are like staples. Like I have to use these. Sorry. Alrighty guys, so I went ahead to pop on a quick lash. I also added on some bottom mascara, and then I put on my wig. So let's go ahead, let's finish out this look by doing our lips. I'm gonna be taking Juvia's Place in a Scorpio, and I'm gonna go ahead and align my lips. I'm gonna take just like a little brush, something small that can get really close, and I am going to blend down my lip liner. So I'm not, again, not erasing, not back and forth. I am literally just snatching it down and blending it out. And then we're gonna go up on our bottom lip. So to finish out the last of our black owned products for this black owned Valentine's Day makeup look, I'm gonna be using my Oma Beauty lipstick, and this is in the shade Maya. I actually did a video on this because this is a part of the Make It Black collection. I don't know if I wore this one in the video or if I wore Eartha, but this formula is so nice and plush on the lips. Like it's super soft, but yeah, it's not like satin, so it's not like shimmery, shiny kind of color, but it's also not like matte. So it's like a healthy in between. I really like these colors, and this one in particular is so cute. So we're gonna add some of this, and then I'm also gonna go back in with the lip liner. So you could leave it like this if you wanted something matte and really didn't want to have to like touch up throughout the day, but I'm gonna go ahead and add on a gloss, and this gloss is by my friend's company. It is Bliss 44 Cosmetics. This one is in the shade Spice. So we're gonna go ahead and we're going to add this right in the middle and just work it out just a little bit. Sounds so good. Here is the finished look. I really love how this look turned out. I haven't done my makeup and loved it in such a long time, so I'm so happy that this was a win. If you guys like this video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up, and make sure you are subscribed to my channel because I do post every Tuesday and Friday. But if you can't remember that, just hit that notification bell and you will get notified every time I post a video. Let me know what you guys think about this makeup look down in the comment section. I really enjoyed how this turned out. Like I was shocked at how cute these rhinestones came out. Usually I would think they're a little bit childish, but I feel like it's very cute. It makes a lot of sense. And again, for a Valentine's Day look, you want to be a little bit more festive. For those hard-headed people that I was talking about, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to my channel because I do post every Tuesday and Friday. But if you can't remember that, just hit that notification bell and you will get notified every time a video comes out. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. I will link those all down below so that way you can easily click and follow. But thank you guys again so much for being here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I love this makeup look. It's time to go take some pictures, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.